So, Stranger Things Season 4 finally released to the excitement of hundreds upon millions of hungry fans who clamor for more after the cliffhanger of Season 3 and the many teasers shown over the years. Did it live up to expectations? Well, yes and no. There are some aspects of the season that I absolutely love, and then there are some things that just leave me scratching my head. Before I go any further, I just want to say a few things. One, I know videos are less frequent, and that's because I've been busy with life. I'm studying for the ACT and getting ready for college, so that's just been taking up most of my time. Despite that, my channel has actually grown substantially. I'm so grateful for that. Thank you so much. Two, I love Stranger Things. I remember when Season 3 came out and I binged the whole series with my family. We all fell in love with it. And lastly, three, this video will contain spoilers, so now you have no right to bitch about it in the comments. That out of the way, let's get started. The first thing I'm going to go over here is what I didn't like about this season, because let's be honest, that's probably what you're here for. First thing I have an issue with is the splintered story of this season. The multiple plot lines I don't think helped the plot at all. I know they left quite a few cliffhangers at the end of Season 3 that they needed to wrap up, but doing it this way felt really off. I felt like each story was written by a different team, because of that, I had quite a bit of tonal and narrative whiplash. So, in the season, there are essentially four storylines: Hopper, Joyce, and Murray in Russia, Mike, Will, Jonathan, and Argyle in California, Elle in Nevada, and Nancy, Robin, Steve, Max, Lucas, Dustin, and Eddie in Hawkins. I hope I got all of them. If I didn't, I'm sorry, I'm only human, and that was a long list of names. The storyline in California is pulled off pretty well at the start, but once Elle leaves that group, it feels like there was a massive decline in quality. And when they end up meeting Susie, Dustin's girlfriend, it feels less like Stranger Things and more like a family comedy, like, I don't know, Cheaper by the Dozen. I definitely feel like it was written by a less experienced team, and because of that, I found myself kind of bored with it. Going back to Elle, she gets called off to get her powers back in Nevada, and we don't get to see any of this until it feels like 2 hours have passed. Then you remember, oh hey, Elle's in Nevada. I completely forgot about that. The plotline in Hawkins is done incredibly well, and during the scenes with the gang in California, I find myself wondering what the fuck is happening in Hawkins. That looks more interesting than what's happening here. The Hopper plotline in Russia is also done pretty well, but some of the effects with the Demogorgon look really cheap. Like, all the budget went towards making the Upside Down look cooler, which it does. I mean, money well spent. Another bit of money well spent was the making of Vecna. I love the fact that they used practical effects to bring him to life, but I do have one critique that leaves me scratching my head. Also, we are now entering major spoiler territory, so if you did not get scared off by the spoiler warning before, this is the time. I don't want to hear you bitching about it. Great, cool, awesome, let's go. So, one being revealed as Vecna is really cool. I didn't see it coming until the last episode where I was blown away. But I do have one question. How did one get his powers? I believe it's shown in Season 2 that the reason Elle got her powers was because her mom was part of the MK Ultra program, and getting fucked up on LSD while pregnant gave her daughter special powers. We get no such explanation for one who was a child, like, I don't know, 8 or so in the 50s, and MK Ultra didn't exist until 1953, long after one was born. Hopefully that'll get explained in the next volume of Season 4. By the way, splitting up into volumes kind of pissed me off along with my friends, but looking back, I think I can understand why. So, telling multiple stories at once is no small feat. It's very difficult to pull off correctly, and the Duffer Brothers took a decently big risk in trying this many at once. I believe they split it up into two for two reasons. One, the story they wanted to tell is long and intricate and probably requires another season. And two, any mistakes they made with Volume 1 can be corrected with editing in Volume 2. But with all that out of the way, let's talk about what I love about Season 4. First off, I absolutely love the new characters, especially Eddie, who I believe was based off of Eddie Van Halen, who was the greatest guitarist of the 20th century, and who unfortunately passed away in 2020. The hair metal look, along with the scene of him shredding the guitar in the trailer, makes me think that this character is an homage to one of the greatest artists in history. Also, I hope we get to see that scene in Volume 2, and that it will relate to somebody escaping Vecna or something. I think that would be pretty cool. Bringing drugs in the series was also pretty interesting, especially because it takes place during '86, where the war on drugs is in full force with Reagan at the helm. It definitely reminds you that it's the '80s without shoving it in your face too much, like in Season 1, where it was part of the main draw. Murray gets used awesomely here, too, as he accompanies Joyce to find Hopper, and overall, the season is definitely worth binging, even with the things I've criticized. Whatever isn't confusing or boring is absolutely fantastic, and I highly recommend watching it. And that's about all I have to say. If you like the video, leave a like, subscribe if you like my channel. If you're curious about the gameplay footage, it's actually from a Stranger Things VR game that a good friend of mine, Expodev, is working on. It's in early development, but what's shown right now is incredible, and it definitely deserves some recognition. So if you want to support him, link to his channel and the socials for the project are in the description below, and maybe in the pinned comment. But with that over, that's it for now. Bye.